It's week 11. We got player props and anytime touchdowns. Let's talk a little pigskin. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back to finish off week 11 by talking some player props. That's right. If you are watching this before the Sunday games kick off, go check out our NFL Best Bets video for the game bets with spreads, totals, things like that. We also give out the trends. And then if you're looking for NBA bets this weekend, we never do videos on the weekend. But we do release bets on the community tab on YouTube, on X, and on Discord. Probably won't have any for Sundays. That's usually just NFL. We just had a 7-0 sweep, so I am smiling tonight. And then now we're on an 11-1 run. So hopefully we can keep that going through the weekend. But just want to let you guys know. So last week was the worst NFL player prop week of the season for me. Maybe since we started the channel. That just means we're that much more dangerous. We're that much more due. So let's bounce back this weekend. But before we get into any graphics you see are from an app called OUTLIER. As you guys know, the best player prop research tool on the market today. So much info. If you guys want to be a profitable sports bettor long term, I always recommend having the tools to do it, and this is that tool in my opinion. Click that link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. So let's get into it, and that means it's NFL fun fact time. Here we go. The Browns are the only NFL franchise to never have a wide receiver with 100 receptions. That's not it. They also have never had a wide receiver have 90 receptions. Sorry, Browns fans. Just want to point that out. In this video, we're going to talk our best NFL player props, and then we have that ladder parlay, and then, of course, we'll finish it with our 3 favorite anytime touchdown bets, and then we'll wrap it up with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow as we are oh so close to 32,000 subscribers. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. But I'm ready to get into it, and that means it's player prop time. All right, this first one is a running back prop. Let's go. Nick Chubb over 60.5 rush yards at -113 on FanDuel. If you listen to my best bets game video, you heard that I mentioned I thought Chubb could have a breakout type game. We're going to take it here. So in his last 2, he's only played 3 games this season, if you don't know. Last 2, he's faced 2 of the best run defenses there is, the Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. He did manage 52 rush yards against the Ravens, which is pretty impressive if you see what other people have done. But what I really love is he's not been on a carries limit after that big injury. 16 and 15 carries the last 2 games. And now he's coming off a bye week to recover, which you like to see. So with Winston at quarterback, you've noticed defenses can't just load the box because Deshaun Watson isn't back there throwing ducks or throwing 2-yard passes and all that kind of stuff. So he does help open up the run game a little bit. And now he finally gets a dream matchup versus the New Orleans Saints. If you don't know about them, well, they've given up the 6th most rush yards per game, 141 per game. Also given up the 2nd most rush yards per attempt at 5.1 yards per attempt. I'm expecting 15 plus carries here yet again from Chubb. Maybe if he's running the ball well, maybe up to 20. At 15 carries, he would really only need 4 yards per carry to cash this bet against a really bad run defense. With this game being competitive, with it being a 1-point spread, it's going to help them stick to the run game, I believe, because I don't see a blowout either way. But let's talk some running backs versus the Saints. It's pretty insane. Bijan, 116. In the same game, Tyler Algier, 59 rush yards. Yes, 175 rush yards by Atlanta. Chuba Hubbard, 72 rush yards. J.K. Dobbins, 57. Javonte Williams, 88 rush yards. That's the most he's had all season. And then Sean freaking Tucker of the Buccaneers, 136 rush yards. It has been ugly for the Saints. Overall, I mean, it's just one of the best matchups you can have in the league. Chubb is just too talented. He's now going to be, 5 weeks removed from when he made his season debut. It's a great buy low spot because he hasn't done much yet this season. Good game script. Give me Nick Chubb over 60.5 rush yards as my first best bet. All right, we stick with the running back for prop number 2, but we're going receiving yards. Give me Bijan Robinson over 24.5 receiving yards, -115 on DraftKings and FanDuel when I found this and gave it out to Discord. 1 unit play. So as you can see by this outlier screenshot, he's over this in 7 of 10 games this season, including 4 straight games. In those last 4 games, he's averaging 36 receiving yards per game. And also in the last 4 games, how about 20 receptions on 23 targets? Yes, he is being targeted quite a bit. He has 1+ catch of 16 or more yards in 3 of the last 4 games. We know Bijan, he can break tackles and he can make any time he touches the ball turn into possibly a touchdown or just at least a big play. He's averaging 8.1 yards per reception this season and even more in the last 4 weeks. 16% target share in the last 5 games, which is very good for only needing 25 yards from a running back. And now we get a great matchup versus Denver. We talked about it early on this season, if you guys even remember. Sean Payton defenses, how they play defense, they give up a lot of receptions to the running back and a lot of receiving yards. And in fact, they've given up the fifth most receiving yards to running backs this season. Running backs versus the Broncos lately, they haven't even faced a ton of actual receiving running backs that are really studs. But Derrick Henry had 27 on one catch. Justice Hill on the same team, obviously, 43. Kareem Hunt, 65 receiving yards. Samaje Perine, 37. Miles Sanders, 38, and then Alexander Madison had 23. Those guys don't have the all-around talent that Bijan is. Obviously, Derrick Henry's talented running the ball, but I think we get a competitive game here as well. Possibly Atlanta trailing or at least competitive where they're going to need to pass it. And with how good this Broncos defense is and making sure they lock up receivers and all that, and also their pass rush, I can see Cousins checking it down a lot, or at least getting some screen passes to give them give kind of set the defense back on their heels and not make them just rush them on every single play. So I think Bijan's going to be targeted quite a bit here, to be honest with you, as a little check down for him. So give me Bijan over 24.5 receiving yards for the fifth straight game, and that is my second best bet. All right, it is time for a quarterback prop. Give me the rookie, Drake May, over 202.5 passing yards at -113. Saw this on DraftKings and FanDuel for 1 unit. He's looked good his rookie season. People are starting to talk about him a little bit. He's already started and finished 4 games this year. Over in 3 of those 4, the 2 weaker defenses he faced, pass defenses, were the Jags and the Texans. And what did he do? 276 versus the Jags, 243 versus the Texans. And then he faced really good pass defenses. The Titans, one of the best defenses or pass defenses there is, giving in regards to giving up pass yards. He had still 206 yards to the Tennessee Titans. And then the Chicago Bears, 184, because there was a weird game where the Patriots actually led the entire time. He only had 25 pass attempts. Still, 184 was right near this. So I think this number is just too low. Now he's facing the Rams, 22nd ranked in pass yards allowed to the quarterback. They have allowed 8 of 9 opposing quarterbacks to go over this line. The only under was another rookie, but a struggling rookie in Caleb Williams. Rams have given up the third most pass yards per attempt. They've been known to give up some big splash plays, that's for sure. If this game is competitive, or even if they trail, which I expect them to be in one of those, he's going to chuck it all over the field. In those 3 games where he went over, 33, 37, and 41 attempts. Like I said, only 25 attempts versus the Bears because they were winning from wire to wire. I do not see that happening against the LA Rams. So his pass attempts line is set at 29.5 as well. I love getting a line only around 200 yards for a quarterback. I expect to throw at least 28 times or so, and playing from behind, game script, and all that. So give me May, June, July, whatever it is, over 202.5 pass yards as my third best bet. All right, this fourth one is a wide receiver prop. Give me Calvin Ridley over 53.5 rush yards at -110 on Bet365 for 1 unit. This guy has been an absolute beast lately. He was not happy when he wasn't getting many targets the last 3 games. How about 143, 73, and 84 receiving yards? He has the second most receiving yards in the entire NFL the last 3 games, only behind Jamar Chase because he had 1 bazillion yards versus the Ravens. On those last 3 games, how about 15, 8, and 9 targets? You love to see the volume. That is the 4th most targets in the last 3 weeks in the NFL. Target share on the team in the last 3 weeks, 38%, 24%, 30%, and he's averaged 14.3, 14.6, and 16.8 yards per reception. He is making some big plays. I'm going to go last 3 because that's when he's really started to get included in this team, with DeAndre Hopkins gone and everything as well. He's been by far their number 1 option. So he has a dream matchup versus the Vikings. The Vikings allow the 3rd most receiving yards to the wide receiver position. I mean, that's almost as good as it gets. 11 wide receivers have gone over this line versus the Vikings, as well as 3 tight ends. And that's with them playing some weaker pass offenses as well. Colts, Jags with Mac Jones, Jets, and Giants were 4 of them. So just want to point that out. But Riddler is the game plan for the Titans. Obviously, that is their goal in the passing game. They want to get it out. And the Vikings are a very good to elite run defense. So you're going to see Levis have to throw the ball if the Titans want to move it in this one, because you're just not going to be able to run the ball very well. It's just how it is. So as long as the Titans can protect Levis with that Vikings pass rush, which is good, I love him to go over this game. You see the pass attempts and everything. I expect a good game from Calvin Ridley. So give me the Riddler over 53.5 receiving yards as my 4th and final best bet on the video. I am going to add more in the pinned comments, more than likely before Sunday. But before we get to the anytime touchdowns, let's talk the ladder parlay. All right, we have 1 ladder parlay winner this year so far, but we've been close on like 3 or 4 of them. Let's see if we can get back to the winning column. The ladder parlay plus 341 on ESPN Bet. I'm going to throw a half unit on it. Give me Calvin Ridley, 60 plus receiving yards. Bijan Robinson, 30 plus receiving yards. And that's when you get the plus 341. This is going to be brief because we just talked about these guys. But Calvin Ridley has already done this in 3 straight games pretty easily as well. So I don't think this is asking for much against one of the defenses, like I mentioned, that gives up the most receiving yards to the wide receiver position. Not a huge ladder. You could go 75 plus if you want to get crazy on its own, things like that. I'm only going up a little bit to 60. And then Bijan Robinson, I'm only going up like 6-7 yards here. So it's not that big of a ladder, but you put them together, you get some good value. I just want to get a winner. That's what I want to do. If you guys want to, ladder these separate on their own, like I said, I'm just here to give some info. But now 6 yards obviously can be a lot for a running back receiver, but he has 30 plus yards in 5 of his 10 games this season. He's missed by 5 and 2 yards in 2 other games as well. So he's going to probably give us a chance. That's what I would hope, at least. So you already heard all the numbers. I think this is a good ladder parlay. I'm going to throw a half unit on it. So give me Ridley 60 plus receiving yards, Bijan Robinson 30 plus receiving yards. And now it's time for the anytime touchdowns. All right, here we go. It's time. I got 3 anytime touchdown bets. They are going to be a quarter unit each. I will repeat this. I am not parlaying them. I know you guys probably will. I'm going to take 3, and I got some kind of safer ones, not really the long shot ones. But here we go. The first one, Amon-Ra St. Brown, plus 105 on FanDuel. He's scored in 7 straight games. I will say that again. He has scored in 7 straight games. He is the Derrick Henry of wide receivers when it comes to scoring. I don't know. I made that up. But by far the highest red zone target share for Detroit. 32.4%. The next closest is running back Gibbs at 16.2%. And he's now facing a Jags pass defense. We know they're absolutely horrendous. They've also tied for this, giving up the 6th most touchdowns to the wide receiver position and the 4th most yards to wide receivers. So it's just an absolute dream matchup. At plus money here at home, I got to take St. Brown to make it 8 straight. Next one, Jonathan Taylor, minus 110 on DraftKings. A-Rich is back at quarterback, and you may think that hurts him and all that, but it actually doesn't. He has 5 touchdowns in 5 games with Anthony Richardson. He's actually never scored with Joe Flacco at quarterback, and he's been an absolute workhorse lately. 20 or more carries in 4 of the last 5 games. He's now facing a Jets defense that continues to get worse every single week, it seems like. Since they fired Salah, it just hasn't been pretty. 25th in rush yards allowed with 134 per game. Average for yards per attempt. Team has given up and struggled just mightily in pass and run defense. But either way, I think the Colts are going to get some opportunities and get some chances here. Whether Taylor breaks one big, which I think he could do in this game, or whether he just gets some goal line carries. His rush yards line is in the 80s in this game for a reason. I like Taylor to get another touchdown here in this one. So third one, even worse odds. Devon Achane, anytime touchdown. On DraftKings, this is minus 125. That's where I'm making it here. He's minus 190 on FanDuel. That's where it should be priced everywhere. So when I saw minus 125, I had to jump on it. It's been like that for a while. We'll see what it is by the time, Saturday night hits or Sunday. But you can maybe parlay it with Derrick Henry anytime touchdown or one of my other ones or something else you like. But I absolutely love this one. He should have an absolutely huge game here. His rush plus receiving yards line is over 100 yards for a reason. He has 5 touchdowns in the 5 games that Tua has played quarterback. 17 and 20 total touches in the last 2 games, and now he's facing the Raiders. Dolphins should be playing with the lead in this one because the Raiders suck, and the Raiders are ranked 25th in touchdowns allowed to the running back position. Achane can score on a huge play. We know he is as dynamic as it gets when he touches the ball, or he could just get a red zone touch, or he could catch some passes because that's what he does well. So I love the playable odds here at minus 125 for Devon Achane. So give me Achane, Taylor, and Amon-Ra St. Brown as my 3 anytime touchdown bets for week 11. And that's what I got for you. Again, I'm going to probably add at least one more player prop. So be sure to check the pinned comments on X and also Discord. If you're not a part of Discord, link is below. It's completely free. You get all the bets there as quick as anybody else can. And we have a lot of fun talking sports and a lot of smart people in there. So that's what I got for you. But before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. Nick Chubb over 16.5 rush yards for 1 unit at minus 113. Bijan Robinson over 24.5 receiving yards, minus 115 for a unit. And then Drake May over 202.5 pass yards, minus 113 as well for a unit. And then the Riddler, Calvin Ridley over 53.5 receiving yards at minus 110 for a unit. And the latter parlay this weekend is Calvin Ridley 60 plus receiving yards, Bijan 30 plus receiving yards. Yes, we're playing it safe here. You guys can go higher if you want. Half unit play for me. And then the anytime touchdown bets, a quarter unit each for me. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's already scored in 7 straight, plus 105. Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown, minus 110. Scored 5 TDs with Anthony Richardson at quarterback in 5 games. And Devon Achane, the same with Tua, anytime touchdown at minus 125. So That's what I got for you. Let's have a freaking bounce back weekend for the NFL. Again, the Game Bets video is out now, so be sure to check that out. So, thank you guys for watching and all the support all NFL season long. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. But enjoy some football. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.